Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with NXT broadcast live last night on USA Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, Tony D'Angelo defeated Charlie Dempsey to win the NXT Heritage Cup. D'Angelo pinned Dempsey for the deciding fall in round 3.
It's countered, and right back in goes the Don. Forget about it! Into the cover! We got a new champion!
What? Here is your winner, and the new NXT Heritage Cup champion, Tony D'Angelo!
The Don makes Dempsey pay!
Dempsey had scored the second fall earlier in round 3, while D'Angelo scored the first fall in round 1. After the match, the show concluded with a video showing Gallus making their NXT return, attacking Ivar West-Lee and Josh Briggs backstage.
Surprise, surprise! Did you message? Look at that! This is just the start! Boy, job done!
The video that opened the show also showed that Noam Dar had been attacked, but it was not revealed at the time who had done it. In qualifying matches for the match to decide the first NXT Women's North American Champion, Sol Ruca defeated Izzy Dame, and Lash Legend defeated Ivy Nile. During a backstage promo segment, Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice were attacked by Natalya and Carmen Petrovich. In other results, Vice pinned Carly Bright, the OC defeated Ridge Holland and Riley Osborne, Javon Evans went over Oro Mensah, and Out the Mud defeated Edris Enofe and Malik Blade. In ratings news, Monday Night Raw drew an audience of 1.589 million to USA Network, according to WrestleNomics. That's a 2% drop from last week's audience of 1.619 million. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a 0.53, which held steady with last week's rating. AEW Collision drew an audience of 378,000 to TNT last Saturday night, according to WrestleNomics. It's the lowest audience the show has ever drawn without being opposed by a WWE or NXT premium live event. It was also a nearly 40% drop in audience from the last time the show aired 2 weeks prior. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a 0.12, which put it 14th place overall on cable TV for the night. AEW Rampage, which followed immediately after Collision, drew an audience of 324,000 for a cumulative loss of nearly 15% of the Collision audience. The demo rating was a 0.11. And in WWE news, Jesse Ventura is in talks with the company for a WWE Legends contract, according to a recent interview he gave on WABC 77 radio in New York. Said Ventura, quote, "I have contracts with my attorney right now with the WWE, and I can only say that that's happened because of the change of direction in the company. I'm in my 70s now, and I guess I'd just like to open up the door at the end in the wrestling career and see what's still left there. And it ain't like I'm going to go back on the mic because if I could be honest with you, I don't even know who wrestles there anymore." End quote. Retiring from wrestling in the mid-'80s, Ventura was the WWF's first regular heel color commentator and filled that role from 1984 through 1990. He also worked in a similar role in WCW from 1992 to 1994 before his later career in politics. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.